Joining us from our Washington studio is Keith Davies. He's executive director of the group Rescue Christians. Thanks for joining us, Keith. Now, your organization is closely involved in this case. Please tell us about this Christian couple that was sentenced to death in Pakistan. What do we know about them?
Well, first of all, the wife cannot write. She's illiterate. The husband is a cripple from his waist down, can't move. They had a cell phone that they lost, and they reported it missing to the owner of the store. The store manager testified in court that it was reported stolen and was reported missing to him. On 2 occasions he testified in court. And what happened is then they still got convicted of being of a death sentence because of the intimidation of the judge, the intimidation of the prosecutor, or the corruption of the prosecutor. We're not sure which is which, but it's either corruption or fear. We know that we had people who had private meetings with the judge who said that, "You crazy, I have to convict, I have to sentence to death because otherwise I'll be killed."
And that's the norm in Pakistan on these type of cases, is it not?
Yes, I mean, it's kangaroo court system. You have a system where everything is stacked against the victims, the defendants. Justice is extremely difficult for them. So the only thing that we can do is put immense pressure on the Pakistani government and to get this news out to the American people and to the Western world and get some of our politicians to do something. And, you know, America gives Pakistan over $1 billion a year in aid. You know, we need to start using our leverage to stop this type of stuff that's going on.
Now, I know a lot of people have expressed concern for the 4 children of this couple. They've been without their parents. Have they even been able to see the parents?
No, they cannot see the parents because they're also threatened with death because the extremists there want to kill the whole family. In fact, when they were first arrested, we took the kids in their pajamas. Our people in Pakistan, in their pajamas, just fled their house. We took them in. They've been now staying in a secret location with their grandfather, and our organization provides them with the funds each month so they can live with food and shelter and so forth, and on an ongoing basis. We're considering what to do with the children. We're thinking of taking the children out of the country, at least temporarily. And even if we're able to secure the release of these two people, they will also be immediately taken out of the country. Our organization will arrange that.
Now, we have a clip from a video of these children that you produced and provided to us. Please explain it to us. Tell us about the children, the father, and what they're saying.
The children, right, obviously in the video are very distraught, and they're explaining about the torture of their father, who was tortured, terribly tortured, to try and get a confession out of him. And obviously it's very upsetting and so forth. And I know, speaking to the grandfather after we spoke to him when the death sentence was passed, it took us about 4 or 5 days before he was ready to even look at a camera. He was so upset about it. So it's a very distraught situation for everybody in our organization that's concerned with it. And obviously, in fact, all the cases that we deal with, they're very heartbreaking, and we need help to help these people in Pakistan.
And the grandfather is not a young man. I'm sure he's concerned about his health and the longevity of his ability to care for these children.
Yes, he's 86 years old, so he's not in a position to provide aid and to bring these children up. But our organization has the ability to help these children. In fact, our team leader there, his wife takes them out and looks after them during the day and tries to comfort them and console them to keep their minds off the issue. And God forbid that anything further happens to this couple, we will take care of the children and make sure they're brought up correctly.
Keith, back to the case itself. I mean, it's obvious there's no evidence. These are false allegations. What's really behind this? Why did they bring these allegations to begin with? Are they after property or what?
Yeah, well, usually what happens, there's a personal dispute between a Muslim and a Christian. right? It could be over a business or some jealousy or whatever, or they could into a fight or over something. And then what happens is, as retribution, the people go to the mosque and lie about the couple or the people and say that they committed blasphemy against Islam, or they plant evidence, like they tear up a Quran and they plant it in their garden or yard, right? So, things like that. And then the clerics make fiery speeches on a Friday at prayers. They stir up the crowd and they go down to the police station and make a complaint in order to issue what's called an FIR, which is a criminal complaint for blasphemy. They go and try and arrest the people. Now, in certain situations, we've been successful in finding people before they get arrested, and then we put them into hiding, hide them, and then smuggle them out of the country. And we've done this over the last year to over half a dozen cases.
What is likely to happen in this case now?
We don't think that the Pakistani authorities will execute them. Aisha Bibi, which is another case under a death sentence, she has not been executed, and we don't anticipate that she will be. But they could be incarcerated for a long time. But our goal is to secure their release, and we're going to put as much pressure as we possibly can to try and do that.
And finally, Keith, what can our viewers do?
Well, they can go to rescuechristians.org, and if they'd like to help our organization in the work that we do. We also operate in Syria, and we're trying to save the Syrian Christians. That's another terrible area, probably even worse than Pakistan at the moment. We have saved hundreds and hundreds of lives. We need to save thousands, and with the help of CBN viewers, we can do that.
Okay, Keith Davies of Rescue Christians, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Gary.